Devin Southard of the Pretentious Film Majors, and I am here with Theresa Navarro, producer and co-star in the film Yes, We're Open. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for interviewing me.
Well, you know how we do. So if you could just start off, give a brief description and tell us about what the movie is about.
Sure. So Yes, We're Open is I want to call it a romantic sex comedy. Only because there are elements of it that are romantic, but the sex in it is mainly comedic. Mm-hmm. So it's not a porno, unfortunately. So if that's what you're looking for, you can. But it was really fun making all the sound effects. So I will totally let everyone know that I was part and parcel of making those sound effects, and it was quite a fun time. So me and like PAs and like all kinds of different contraptions. Like, yeah, it was really good.
So
not that way. Sorry.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, we could have let them imagine. But anyway, so you not only again starred in it, you also produced it. So how did you become involved with this project in the first place, and how did you sign on as producer? Was that first or?
Sure. So this is actually the third. I think now it's the third feature film that my third feature film collaboration with Rich Wong, who's the director, and H.P. Mendoza, who's the writer. So I've done. I was an actress for them primarily for 2 films prior to this, and I'd been wanting to do more work, and I was living in Hawaii at the time for school, and Rich had just finished a major project, a bigger studio film in China. So he was coming back to the U.S., and I was coming back to California around the same time, and he showed me the script from HP, and initially I think the idea was for me to act in it when it was a much smaller, going to be a much smaller project. And then when we realized, it had been maybe a year, we decided maybe we should just make it ourselves, and that's when I came on board to produce it. And then we were really fortunate because we had, Lynn expressed interest and Perry expressed interest and Sheath Chef, who's also, those are the 3 main stars. So having them come on board and having me come on board primarily as a producer and then having a supporting actress role, it was definitely a challenge, but it was really, really exciting, and it was great for me both to be able to produce such a fun film, as well as to, as an actress, to be able to work with 2 really talented actresses, like Sheath and Lynn, and with Perry, and with other, the entire cast. We just had a good time. Like, it was literally like laughing all the time, and a lot of eating. So that was really fun. Yeah. So that's basically how I came into this production. And then people like HP, who's the writer, and who's also acted in several of his other films prior to this, he ended up taking on one of the other supporting roles, Brett. And then another character, Gerald, is actually played by another filmmaker who's part of one of our colleagues. We have kind of like this group of filmmakers who are also friends, Dave Boyle, who had done films like White on Rice and Sergei Valentine, and some of our crew would later on go on to work on his feature Daylight Savings. So it's really kind of like this nice, really indie collaborative community that's there that in my hometown, San Francisco. So it's really kind of awesome to kind of be able to help each other out on each other's projects, whether it's staying in each other's spaces, doing a pass in editing, acting in each other's films, producing each other's films, being on crew, being on cast. So it's really, I think that's what filmmaking really is. It's about this collaborative spirit of it, and that's what truly allows us to kind of make it still be very indie too. So, yeah.
So earlier you briefly talked about remembering making noises and sound effects for the film. Were there any particular memories you have on set or just in the process of making the film that really stick out to you?
Sure. Well, I think something that I mentioned during the Q&A was one of the bigger days on set was really the wedding scene, because it required us having a lot of extras on set. It was an outdoor, shoot. There's a lot of things that we needed to contend with, like the light for one factor is the light, another factor is the sound. There's like cars driving everywhere. But there's also the first day that I would actually be acting and producing at the same time. So, luckily I had a really great crew of associate producers, co-producers, production coordinators. We had a lot of really great PAs. So I was able to kind of make sure that everything was taken care of before, so I could kind of focus on my character for the day. But it was also my character's wedding day. So it's kind of cool to try to get like all these people, friends and family, to be quote unquote extras or attend guests at my wedding. And it's this big joke to my parents that I was like, yeah, well, this might be the only time I get married, so you better come and watch it. So they always like that story because I'm not married. Obviously I'm not. So, Yeah, so that's a really memorable day. And my boyfriend was one of the extras too, so he had to watch. There's a scene that was not included in the movie where I think it was just like Rich just wanted me to have to kiss my husband like over and it's like, oh yeah, you guys should just kiss. Here, I'm just gonna film you guys kissing. Like just kiss him a lot of times. And I was like, really? And I'm so like, okay, so it's like, you know, when you like clink your glass so that the couple will kiss. So they made us do it like 3 or 4 times, and it's like me and the guy, and then we're like kissing, and it's like, ah, we're kissing. And then on the other, like right behind the camera, like literally right next to the DP is like my dad and my boyfriend, and they're just like, you know, the whole time. And I'm like, this is so terrible, but whatever. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So it was good.
Sounds like a special kind of wedding day. So, since we're at the Philadelphia Asian American Film Festival, just curious on your thoughts, what do you think Asian Americans, women in particular, are in the film industry, and where do you think they need to go?
Sure. Well, I think there's, you know, we need to be there. We need to be there behind the camera. We need to be there in front of the camera, and we need to be there writing films so that, you know, what I really appreciate about the films that I've done with HP and with Rich are that they're much more multidimensional than maybe me just being like a lotus blossom who's scared and waiting for a man to like save me, or like some like dominatrix, you know, like Lara Croft, like person in, you know, high heel boots. Although I do like those, I don't necessarily wear those all the time when I'm running away from, you know, like assassins. So, and those are not the only two like tropes that are available to women to play. And I think when you have films where they're women, you can see kind of like the way that women play off one another, you know, and I think that's what's important to writing kind of stories about women that are not just making them something on a pedestal. Like it's not just a woman between two men or a woman and a man, because, you know, a woman and a man together are only going to kind of show each other the space that they want. But when you see two girls who are rivals, two girls who are frenemies, like then you can really kind of see the different I don't know, like how deep a woman really truly is. And I mean, that's what I really appreciated about kind of like older films where you see a woman who's going through a whole range, like a whole gamut of emotions, from being a total bitch to like, you know, a pussycat and all of these things, a mother and all these things at once. And like now I feel like it's a lot less there's not as much dimensionality. And I think a lot of that is a dumbing down, like us dumbing down our audiences and thinking that our audiences can't handle that. And I think that's the responsibility of independent film, to kind of treat the audiences with dignity. Like they have, you know, they're intellectual audiences. Now going back to this space of women and our place in it, it's like we need to be there to give good performances, and we need to be there to make sure the performances and the productions are great. And I don't think anyone's going to give the opportunity to us. Like, I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, we need a girl on set, let's ask Theresa. I mean, the people that I work with, I feel like they respect me for my work, and it's not just because they wanted a girl on set. So, and the more that I work, then the more experience that I get, and then the more that I can also, you know, my assistant producers and my production coordinators are all women, because they're the people that I wanted to have my back and come on board that I could rely on. And it's important for PAs, you know, like PAs that are starting out to work with both men and women. And, you know, I mean, I was just on a really great panel in Hawaii that was about women in filmmaking. And it was this idea that it's like, you know, interestingly for docs specifically, I mean, there's a really low percentage of women directors out there, and even lower when you think about women of color. So it's important for us to kind of get that experience, get our names out there, and do the work that's necessary so that we can be out there and, you know, win Academy Awards. You know, like, and that's not necessarily the marker of what makes you a good filmmaker or makes you a good actress, but you know, we need to be out there and let people see that. I mean, okay, yeah, whatever. If I had like nicer tits and like higher cleavage, whatever. But then, am I a good actress? Yeah, hopefully. You know, so that's what I'd want to strive for more. So totally, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
Not at all. You kind of just messed everything up.
Tits McGee. Okay.
Well, thank you, Tits McGee. I mean, Theresa, for sharing a moment with us. We appreciate it. And for people who are interested in seeing the film, how can they do that?
Sure. Well, we are really excited to announce a partnership with Cherry Sky Films, and we just announced last week that we'll be self-distributing. So the film will be available both as a digital download and as a DVD at yeswe'reopenfilm.com. We have them over here, if you can see me, but obviously we won't be here anymore when it's online, so I guess it's kind of pointless.
Don't come here.
And yeah, so it's available there, and we're really excited. And the DVD has a really nice art piece that was designed by Jerry Ma from Epic Props. So that's gonna be really cool for anyone that picks up the DVD. And Perry's signing some right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again very much, and good luck with the film.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you.
Pretentious Film Majors. You guys are awesome.